prepared to announce this first speaker. Are you ready? Come on now, are you ready? We've come a long way to get this far. Are you ready? All right, a former criminal prosecutor and civil rights attorney, Dana Nessel is currently serving her second term as Michigan's 54th Attorney General. As the state's top consumer advocate, AG Nessel has intervened in every single rate case that's come before the MPSC since she took office in 2019, saving Michigan ratepayers more than $4 billion and counting. Please welcome AG Nessel.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Who ordered this weather? Listen, I think the fact that we do have all these people out here today on a freezing cold day to register their displeasure with how things are operating across the state of Michigan, but especially with the Michigan Public Service Commission in terms of this Saline Township proposal for what will be the biggest data center in the history of the state of Michigan, but also one of the biggest in America. And understanding that we're talking about 1.4 gigawatts, which is, of course, enough to provide energy to a city of 1 million people, I think we should be taking this extremely seriously, don't you? So imagine my surprise when this application was filed by DTE on October the 31st, asking, and again, the biggest energy case in the state of Michigan in our history, that this be held as an ex parte hearing before the Public Service Commission. Meaning what, right? Normally, in all ratepayer cases, the Michigan Department of Attorney General has the authority to intervene in those cases. And why? Because we want to make sure that if a utility, a monopoly like DTE is going to raise our rates, that there's a good reason for it. And that they have to prove their case before the commission. And what does that mean? Normally, of course, in these contested cases, we have witnesses, we have experts, people are cross-examined, and the public gets to know. We deserve that right, don't we? But now here, in the biggest case in the history of the state, involving these two giant billionaire tech AI companies, they don't want us to do anything about it. They just want us to accept their word, DTE's word, that this is not going to impact our rates. Our rates, by the way, which are already some of the highest in the country, where we also receive the worst service. Right. So let me ask you, do you guys trust DTE? No! Do you trust OpenAI? No! Oracle to look out for our best interests here in Michigan? But you can't trust this contract, can't you? This contract? All of these areas that have been redacted where we don't even know who the signatories to the contract are, where we don't know the terms and conditions, where we don't know the exit fees and termination fees for the first couple of years, where we have entire areas of the contract where even the headings are redacted, so we don't know not just what it says, but what it's even about. Is that okay? How about these customer credits where the entire page has been redacted? And the Public Service Commission application terms can barely read anything. Does that seem transparent to you? No. Does that seem like DTE's looking out for us? No. Does that seem like something that we should not even be having a contested hearing over? No. Does that like maybe the ratepayers of the state of Michigan might end up getting screwed? Yeah. I don't know how we can come to any other conclusion than that. And, you know, with all the things that we are seeing right now and the concerns about whether some of these companies are even going to be in business in a few years, how can we know that if DTE is going to be building all this additional infrastructure, at least $500 million that we know of, how do we know that if these guys go out of business, that we're not going to be left paying the bill? We don't. We can't possibly know that. This could cause an economic catastrophe in the state of Michigan. We could have our own recession just in Michigan because it'll be impossible for businesses to pay the utilities that are going to be so high, and impossible for our state residents to live here because they won't be able to pay for their electricity, because we'll be left footing the bill when these AI billionaires have made all their money and they are long gone. So all we're asking for, it's so simple. Just allow us to have what we almost always have, which is a contested hearing, so that we can actually know what's going on. We're not asking the Public Service Commission just to completely destroy this project.
Yes, we
just want to know. Well, I understand that, but we just want to know what the hell is going on and what that's going to mean for the people of our state. The Michigan Public Service Commission is there to protect all of us, not just to protect these regulated monopolies.
That's what they do every day.
Not just to protect the AI billionaires, but to protect us, all of us, the people of the state of Michigan. And I don't think that's too much to ask for, do you?
No.
So please continue to let your voices be heard. Continue to make comments to the Public Service Commission. Over 5,000 last I saw. The vast majority of them asking, calling for, begging for, demanding a contested hearing in this case. Continue to do that and make sure that all of your elected officials, whether they are state officials, whether they are federal officials, let them know we expect them to take a position on this. We're not going to tolerate their silence, because silence is complicity in this.
Yeah.
That we expect them to stand up for the people of this state and for them to demand that the Michigan Public Service Commission allow for a contested hearing in this case, so that the truth can finally be shown as to what this project will mean for the people of our state. Can we do that? Thank you, everybody. And let's make sure that we get this right. It is going to create a precedent for all future data centers of this kind. And we need to make sure that it's done in a manner that protects us all. So thank you very much for your work. Thank you for being here, and continue to have your voices be heard. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Dana Nessel, everybody. No secret deals. No secret deals.
No secret deal. No secret deal. No
Secret deal. We're gathered together here, and this is a broad coalition, so I just want to give you all a little bit of orientation before we continue, okay? We're going to be welcoming. We're going to be curious. We're going to make new friends today. We're going to take these action steps seriously. What is an action step that you just heard from AG Nessel? Public comment. Call your reps. Exactly. So we're going to collect action steps, and we're going to spread the word, and we're going to build the movement. And also, we're going to have a lot of speakers, and most of these speakers are just going to be 2 or 3 minutes. So I want to show you a couple people. Some of you are speakers, many of you actually. So this man here is a frontline organizer from Saline, and his name is Tim. Come on out here, Tim. Tim's helping us stage manage. A lot of y'all, this is your first time organizing, first time stage managing. So if you're a speaker, this is one of your point people to find out when you speak, okay? And the other one is Mitch. And Mitch is wearing, here he is, right here, Mitch Diston, one of the main organizers and facilitators of all of this. So if you're a speaker, you probably already talked to Mitch. He's been working day and night. So look for the guy in the orange hat that says Farm King, and you'll find out when you're speaking. We're going to keep these side areas clear, okay? And we're going to give room to the press. We got a lot of press here. Thank you so much for doing your job and for covering this. We appreciate you. We appreciate your integrity. And we're going to have a lot of representatives speaking. So many people just pouring through. So tune in, and if you're looking to, if you want a sign, if you don't have a sign already, there's a whole pile of them right here, and more on their way. And exactly. And then we're going to have a march at the end. Okay, so at the end of this rally, we're going to march around the Capitol. And for those of us that want to stay a little longer, we'll go inside the rotunda. And we will respectfully make some noise and share our voices. Does that all sound good? Woo! Let me hear you, Michigan!
Hey, what a beautiful day we have out here. This is Michigan right here. This is why we love the state. Not AI. We love the Four Seasons, not AI. You know, one of the worst things about all this going on is the fact that they're going to eviscerate all the water in our air. One of the best things is that we get to meet a lot of really cool people we may not have had the chance to meet. And this next person lives probably less than a mile from me, and I didn't know her until just a few weeks ago. She's a real American hero. She's a ex-Marine, Semper Fi. Hoorah! Hoorah! Let's bring her out, Catherine Halshauter.
Shorty. Hello, everybody. My name is Catherine Halshauter, and I'm from Saline. I live on a small 60-acre farm that borders the property that sold to AI Oracle. And I promise, with everything in me, I will stay and fight. I will not sell until this fight is all the way over. And I need every one of you behind me. I am just a little person. I'm a little person who just wanted to live a quiet country life and raise my 5 small children and never have to fight again a day in her life. But here I am. I went to Afghanistan in 2011 and 12 with a female engagement team in support of 2-3 Weapons Company to the Helmand province of Afghanistan. And I can tell you, nothing makes you more anti-war than going to war. But beyond that, as hard as I fought there, they have no idea how far and how hard I'm going to fight for Saline, for my family, and for my home now. If an idea is so great, if AI is so great and it's so beneficial to our community, you don't have to sue your way in. You don't have to force it. It's really bright out today, but I wanted to take off my sunglasses because I like to look people in the eye when I'm talking to them, because our humanity matters. Not screens, not data. And I urge you to look people in the eye and make them see you. I know we get all heated on social media, and it's a great way to connect with wonderful, powerful people like yourself to get together and push back. But we also need to remember to show up in person, and that's what you did today. And I'm so proud of all of you. And we have to remember that. Keep showing up. Our resources are at risk. Our water is at risk. Look into the closed loop system. It doesn't mean they won't pollute our groundwater and our soil with forever chemicals in the very land we farm and feed our people with. It's not just my backyard issue. It's not just, I don't want them in my backyard. Of course, I want to fight for all of you. And I need you. So stand with me and let's fight this. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Catherine Holsalter, everybody. Thank you so much. We've got your back. Next up, we're just going to move things right along here, folks. We've got Representative Reggie Miller from the 31st House District. Thank you so much, Reggie.
Everyone, I can't take off my glasses. I have bifocals in them, so excuse me. But I want to thank each and every one of you who made the trip to Lansing on such a cold day. And we're here today to make it loud and clear that the plans of billion-dollar corporations and hedge funds are not important than our rights to safe and healthy communities, period. Most of us here want, we support technology. We're not anti-technology. We enjoy the technology that we have. I want to be clear here, though, from the start. I'm not anti-data center. I'm not anti-technology. I'm not anti-economic development. But what I do oppose is the rapid expansion of data centers in Michigan without strong regulations, community input, without environmental protections, and without real safeguards in place. Distinction matters. We are deeply concerned with the surge of data centers. They're popping up everywhere. And because we currently do not have the regulations, the protections and safeguards, and most importantly, the transparency in place to ensure our environment, our health, and our workforce are truly protected, we need to fight this. And without strong oversight, we risk compromising the well-being of our communities, the safety of our natural resources, and the security of good local jobs. After last year's data center credit into law, I voted against it. We've seen the significant increase in data center proposals across Michigan. And this gold rush mentality of building these data centers is pushed on speed and profit over thoughtful planning, public impact, and the long-term consequences and effect of what these will do. Let me be clear about this. No matter what type of data center, whether it's hyperscale, closed loop, air conditioned, each one has significant risks. And they know that. But yet we're continuing with this at maximum force speed ahead. One of the most serious concerns is common sense. It's the water. Many data centers rely on enormous amounts of volumes of water for cooling, no matter what type of data center it is. And that includes closed loop. They need the water too. Yes. And what they're doing, some of the chemicals could be absolutely PFAS, also known as forever chemicals. And once they're in the environment, they're there forever. And that can't be undone, folks. And it's impossible to remove them. We all know that Michigan is home to the Great Lakes, the largest source of fresh water in the world. And protecting that resource is not optional. It's essential. And we've been told the closed loop solves the problem. They don't, not at all. And they're pitched as better, safer, cleaner options for data centers. Problem solved, right? Wrong. No way, no how. And while the closed loop system does use less water, it still requires massive amounts of water chemically treated, which poses a risk to our environment. And at some point, hello, it will be discharged. Where's that going? Too many times residents are left out of the process. Non-disclosure agreements, silence. Local elected officials and residents are kept in the dark until it's too late. We got to do away with that. We got to stop that. And let me be clear about labor. Let's talk about that and the jobs. If data centers are going to be built in Michigan, they should not rely on anti-union labor practices. Michigan should not provide tax credits for projects unless there are clear enforceable guarantees that union jobs will be created and maintained locally. I don't see that. Residents in other states have seen increased utility costs and problems with water pressure after data centers have been built near their homes. Residents are not fully informed or involved in the process until it's too late. And they're told it's a done deal. It's not a done deal anywhere. You decide if it's a done deal. Residents are fed up, and because they're not fully informed, their opinion hasn't been considered. And we know that there will be possible, and we don't know what they'll be, increased utility costs and problems with water pressure and power outages. And I can go on and on. All in all, I'm not anti-technology, but what I am is pro-health, pro-environment, pro-worker, pro-community, and Listen, economic development should lift families, not race them to the bottom. Good jobs and healthy environment are not competing values. They're inseparable. So again, let me say this as plainly as I can. We all deserve the right to clean water, a safe, healthy environment. And it's our duty to stay vigilant, to make sure our rights and our well-being are being met, not steamrolled by the goals of the world's largest and richest corporations. And I'm fighting for our communities, for health, transparency, union labor, and environmental protections. In closing, I just want to say we got to be loud and clear, and we have to, this is a bipartisan issue, plain and simple. And it takes all of us, because when we unite together, we can move mountains. Thank you. Thank you again for being here, and thank you for letting me speak today. It's an honor to serve all of you.
Thank you so much. One more time for Representative Miller. Thank you, Reggie. I want to give a special thanks and chimigwech to Nicole and Andrea for leading a wonderful water ceremony to open this up. We're here at the state capitol. This is also the traditional ancestral lands of the Anishinaabe people. And we are so honored by your presence and so grateful to stand with you in solidarity. Andrea also brought a bunch of warm beverages for everybody. So right over here, grab a sign, grab a warm beverage, open up, warm up. We're going to keep things rolling here. Sean McBrady's been working for clean water for a long time. He's been a big champion. You've seen him right behind AG Nessel on the Big Line 5 press conferences. He's been a part of the Oil and Water Don't Mix Coalition, the campaign manager. He's now the executive director of Clean Water Action. Please welcome Sean McBrady.
No, you did. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to Lansing. My name is Sean McBrady. I'm the Michigan Director of Clean Water Action. And I'm overjoyed to see so many people here today opposing this reckless rush of data centers coming into Michigan under the guise of economic development. In reality, we know that data centers have a long history of overpromising and under-delivering on jobs and economic development. So why are they really coming here? This data center rush will only serve to further enrich Silicon Valley oligarchs and DTE executives, while we the people pay the cost in more expensive energy and water and unknown health impacts to our communities. But this latest so-called economic development scheme is a symptom. It's not a cause itself. If we want a government that works for people instead of huge corporations, we have to address root causes while we struggle in community after community across our state to protect each other from the symptoms. I'm proud to be here with you all today because we've come from across the state and across the political spectrum to protect each other and to protect our homes. Now, data centers have been proposed here as an economic development opportunity. We've been threatened that if they don't come here, someone else is going to get them instead. But what exactly are the tech giants behind this data center boom offering? We've already given them sales and use tax exemptions. We know they're also going to game the system to take advantage of property tax exemptions and any other tax exemptions they can. And the billionaires who profit from these data centers are already taking advantage of every tax break they can while they rig our political system to extract maximum benefits for themselves while the rest of us pay the price. The union jobs they are offering here are only available during construction. Afterwards, there are few jobs to be had from data centers. Why not hold the billionaires accountable for the taxes they owe and have our union workers build affordable housing instead? We could have every union worker in Michigan employed if we decided to invest in fixing our outdated water infrastructure and building enough affordable housing to support our population. But that doesn't happen because there's no profit in it for those at the top. The tech giants are building data centers here because they're coming for our water. DTE and Consumers Energy are helping them because they want a huge increase in energy demand to bolster their already obscene profits. The root cause of this kind of economic development is political corruption, plain and simple. Here's a more detailed breakdown of how exactly data centers came to Michigan. The last time every state representative and state senator who works in this building was up for election was in 2022. And that year, DTE made contributions to 138 out of our 148 state legislators. After that, in 2023, the legislature passed clean energy laws that were so weakened and corrupted by utility influence that Clean Water Action and Michigan environmental justice groups opposed the bills when they were on the floor for a vote. One of the provisions that utilities ensured was included in the final version was a provision that if there was enough of an increase of power demand on the grid, they could blow past clean energy goals and build new gas plants. More expensive energy for us and more profits for DTE and consumers. Then, in 2024, many of the folks here, environmental groups and grassroots advocates, fought the tech industry to a standstill over this huge tax giveaway to big tech for data centers. And all of a sudden, DTE came to their rescue, exerting their leverage over our elected officials who are supposed to be representing you and me, and ensuring that Silicon Valley oligarchs get their tax giveaway at our expense. The monopoly utilities in Lansing have the best representation that their money can buy, while we, the people who are supposed to be represented by our state elected officials, are literally and metaphorically left out in the cold. Data centers here mean that DTE gets new gas plants and you and I get stuck with the bill. Without the extreme corrosive influence of corporate money in politics, we would not have to be here today protesting. This is a systemic, bipartisan problem. Recent reporting in the Detroit News shows that our Democratic Governor Whitmer received $550,000 from a DTE-associated group in 2024, while the same group gave Republican House Speaker Matt Hall $750,000. This is why Clean Water Action and our allies across the state have joined together for a nonpartisan solution. We have folks moving through the crowd. We have a table back there collecting signatures for the Michiganders for Money Out of Politics ballot initiative. Mop Up Michigan is our best chance to come together and tell those who are buying our democracy that their time is up and that we, the people, are taking back our power. If we succeed at the ballot in 2026,
monopoly utilities will no longer be able to buy elections. Those in power do not want to see this make the ballot. Silicon Valley tech billionaires and DTE executives want to keep you and I on the hook for data centers that benefit them at our expense. Keep that in mind while we continue to organize locally against these data centers. How many people here have seen your utility rates rise in the last year? Everybody. How many people here want to see your utility rates continue to rise while our utilities rake in record profits and Silicon Valley billionaires who have never so much as stepped foot in Michigan steal our natural resources? Hell no. If you're ready to stand up and fight back against the monopoly utilities that have bought our government and put us in this situation, go see our table in the back and sign up. We'll send you home with petitions. We need everybody collecting signatures if we're going to make this happen. Right now, if you're here today, whether you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent, whether you're here from Detroit or the Keweenaw or Ironwood or anywhere in between, if you're fed up with huge corporations like Microsoft and Meta and DTE and Consumers Energy having all the power in our government, if you want to ensure that something like this data center scheme never happens again, go see our volunteers. If everyone out here today is collecting signatures from events you're already planning to attend, we will make the ballot and ensure that Michiganders can choose to take back our power in 2026. I am so thrilled to be in this fight together with all of you, and together we will win. Thank you for being here today.
Sean McBrady, everybody. So you heard it, the veil is getting lifted. Who's the #1 campaign contributor in Michigan politics? DTE. Mop up Michigan. This is a generational opportunity. We're not going to miss this opportunity. So pass around those petitions. Raise your hand if you got a Mop Up Michigan petition right now. Raise them high. Look around you. Sign the petition and become someone who's spreading these petitions right there. This is an opportunity for us to take the money out of politics and breathe life into our democracy. It comes from us. It comes from the ground up. The power's from the ground up. And we came here to give a mouthpiece to the power that's coming from the ground up. And in that spirit, please welcome Tim Bruno from Saline, Michigan.
I just love doing that. It's fantastic, right? Hey, before I get started, if you have a personal compelling story regarding the AI/data center situation, find one of these great reporters around here. Tell them your story so that we can continue to spread the news around. Okay? Thanks. As Seth just said, I'm Tim Bruno. I'm a Saline resident. I've lived there for about 21 years. I lived in the city of Saline for 5 years, and then I've lived in Washtenaw County my entire life. I live about 1.5 miles from the proposed data center. DTE should not be allowed to circumvent the MPSC and public scrutiny. They have proven over the years to be unreliable and underhanded. In 2023, it took DTE about 12 hours on average to restore our power during an outage. That's longer than any other state in the country. DTE plans to prioritize data centers over citizens. A DTE rep told me personally during a power outage, their priorities were the following. 1, emergency services. 2, senior citizen living facilities. He stopped short on number 3. I asked him, are data centers number 3? He refused to answer me. DTE and Related Digital want this project to be treated as critical infrastructure, like a hospital or a school or a road. Well, it's not critical, and there's no demonstrated need for a data center in Saline Township or one of the other 23 or 24 that we know of at this time affected communities. It's exploitation dressed up as innovation. This is not just a development proposal. It is by every meaningful definition a war on our way of life. Related Digital is waging war on Saline. DTE is waging war on Michigan. AI is waging war on our country. We demand transparency and accountability from DTE and our politicians. No secret deals! No secret deals! No secret deals! No secret deals! Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tim. Moving things along here, I asked Representative Jim DeSena how to pronounce his name. He said, just think insane for running for public office. That's how you remember it. But I want to say we're so grateful to the people who ran for public office, hold public office, and listen to the people, right? And some of you out there are going to run for public office in 2026. Am I right? So please join me in welcoming Representative Jim DeSena from the 29th House District.
Thank you. I live in a small town called Carlton. Not too far from Dundee, not too far from Saline, not too far from Frenchtown Township. Places where they want to put these monstrosities. I have a farm. My wife and I have a farm. We love green grass, water, sunshine, things that should be free, right? Last I checked, and I love people. And this movement is by the people, and the forces opposed to us are opposed to people. And we can stop this. It was especially, it made me especially angry to hear in Saline, a parcel that was zoned agricultural. You know, last I checked, the township had the right to zone their property the way they want, and the company threatened to sue if they didn't rezone the property. So this is big tech and big monopoly power versus the people. Make no doubt about that. This is the battle we're fighting. I voted against the tax breaks. We've given these guys tax breaks. It's crazy. I voted against the tax breaks. I have introduced a bill today, along with my colleague Dylan Wegela, to repeal the tax breaks. The flood of these data centers came in shortly after we passed the bill giving them the sales tax breaks. Corporate welfare should end in the state of Michigan now. Take back our power. Sean mentioned it a little bit. It's about stopping these companies from donating to politicians. These politicians, when you come to Lansing, you can take their money and you can choose not to. Those that choose not, which I am one of, you won't get donations from even a lot of the other conglomerations that all support this. I will tell you today, the cost-benefit analysis on these data centers is off the charts. The costs to our communities are terrible, and there is no benefit. There is no benefit. Why have we given them tax breaks? I question, why have we given these companies tax breaks? 100%. The Monroe County, Southern Washtenaw County, Lenawee County are in the crosshairs of these data centers. They come out to rural areas where there's not that many people, right? And it's left to a small group of people to fight these and a small township to fight these with very limited resources, very limited legal resources. That's why we need the entire state to stand up. Everybody in the state of Michigan. These could come to your area. You think you're safe today because you don't have a data center next to you. Just wait, they're coming. All right. I cannot even imagine living in Saline or Dundee or Frenchtown Township and finding out that I'm going to have a data center coming next to me. There goes my house value. It's gone. You know, oh, by the way, you want to come by my house? There's going to be a data center right there. Oh, no, thank you. There is a dull hum. I've spoken to people who live around these data centers.
There is a dull hum 24/7 coming out of these buildings. You are going to be listening to that all day and all night. They'll tell you that they can muffle the sound and that it goes upwards. Baloney. If you live next, go talk to the people that live next to data centers now. We can store our information some other way. There's got to be a better way than going out and chewing up 2,000 acres of farmland. By the way, for those of us that live in the country, right, just the disruption to the ecosystem, the disruption to the water flow, the disruption to the whole environment of a township is disrupted by these data centers. Certainly we could say, you don't need to be here. Don't come here. We need the entire state to stand up and say, we don't want you. We are the people. We don't want data centers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Representative DeSena. Jim, thank you so much. We got folks from Lowell out there. Lowell, are you here? So frontline organizers represented at the state capitol, giving voice to each of these unique experiences that communities are having. Next up, we have one of them for you. Please give a warm welcome to Betsy Lopez Wagner from Lowell, Michigan.
All right, good morning. All right, you all clearly need to warm up a little bit. I'm Betsy Lopez Wagner. I'm here on behalf of Residents United for a Healthy Lowell. We're a group of community members from across Lowell and Michigan in our region. We are concerned for our public health. We are concerned for the health of our local environment, our natural resources, sustainable energy future. We are concerned that there are individuals in our community that will not have the ability to keep their lights on or to have access to clean and affordable water. So when I say our public health is not for sale, you're going to repeat it. Ready? Our public health is not for sale. Public health is not for sale. Public health is not for sale. That's right, y'all. Big tech wants our community in Lowell, Michigan, and our Great Lakes allies are saying no. So today, thank you. I'm surrounded by some folks in my community. Here's what we could tell you. November 12th is really when the shoe dropped. That's when information that had long been held behind NDAs was exposed within our community. Our community encompasses 3 governments. 2 of those are at play right now. The city of Lowell, Michigan is on deck for water and sewer agreements. The Lowell Charter Township, is on deck to be able to go ahead and change some zoning specifically to move from mixed use, which was sold to people as being an opportunity for shops, restaurants, hotel, and the protection of our wetlands, into light industrial, specifically calling for data centers. What do we think about that? That's right. And just last week, we had the city vague booking us, saying that they were going to suspend a certain project. And just last night at the township meeting, we heard the same thing. They were going to suspend a certain project until the end user has been disclosed. Here's the kicker, y'all. Last night, we caught them in a lie. Last night, we caught them to be able to say, yes, there were NDAs at play. And yes, there are people who know who that end user already is, and that will be exposed in the weeks and months to come. So here we are right now. We know that a Big Ten US company wants to come and make our community their home. And we're saying not in Lowell and not in any of y'all's communities either. So what I can tell you today is that we know that for far too long, these types of corporate polluters and special interest groups have put their profits over people. And again, our public health is not for sale. We know that what would be coming would be the size of 2.5 malls of America. How many of y'all have ever seen Mall of America? It is massive. So for them to say that they won't take our water and that this won't drive up utility, that this will not affect us or those in the region who share the same aquifer, we're saying not true. We're calling it what it is. It's crap. So here we are right now, y'all. We're saying no secret deals. When I say no secret deals, you all say it. Ready? No secret deals. No secret deals. That's right, y'all. Data centers, we know they're water hogs. We know they drive up utility rates, and we know they bring noise. As someone who is from the neurodivergent community, I can tell you that that hum is not something that I want within 10 minutes of me or within anywhere near my neighbors, my community, or my friends. Thank you. As we've heard, people are coming across different ideologies. Well, here what we know is that Residents United for a Healthy Lowell, we look at each other as our neighbors. We care about the plight of our neighbors. If you're in this for the environment, if you're in this for your community protection, the protection of your farmland, if you are here because your indigenous ancestors are screaming inside your soul and telling you to protect that land, we are here for you, and we are grateful for all of you all today. Thank you. Again, we will be here to be able to fight your fight with you, and I'm grateful to the folks that are up here with me today, and to you all who are here. Again, we are in your fight, so one more time. Our public health is not for sale. Public health is not for sale. Thank you.
Thank you, Betsy, and thank you, Lowell. We stand with you. Representative Aaron Burns proudly represents the west end of Dearborn and Dearborn Heights, a former middle school special ed teacher and Dearborn City Council member. She has long been a community leader and a fierce advocate for ethics and transparency and utility accountability. Please join me in welcoming Representative Burns.
Good morning, everybody. Let me hear you. Thank you for being out here today and braving the cold. My name is Aaron Burns, and I'm the state representative for House District 15, Dearborn and Dearborn Heights. Yes, free Palestine. Thank you. Let me start by saying I'm really pissed off. Does you feel the same way? I thought so. So as we know, DTE, Meta, Amazon, X, Oracle, Palantir, and other massive tech companies and power utilities seem to think that we owe them millions and millions of dollars with no transparency, no accountability, and no regard for our safety. And we pay the price through higher energy bills, a polluted environment, and serious risk to our health. We have watched energy costs continue to rise while our reliability and service steadily decline. I don't know about you, but I'm sick of throwing out fresh groceries when my power goes out for days at a time, with no recourse and no accountability from DTE. Without real investment in our grid, we are looking at a possible double-digit increase in our electricity demand due to these data centers that we don't even want. And let's be real, the burden of that cost will fall on us, not big tech. Yeah. We have seen time and time again in Flint, Midland, Detroit, communities across our state, that when corporations are given free rein, it's children, families, and seniors, people like us, who suffer the consequences. Our utility companies like DTE and Consumers Energy must be held accountable. We've seen far too many backroom deals and closed-door negotiations with lawmakers and the MPSC that result in little to no oversight and sweetheart contracts. My dollars to heat my home, your dollars to keep your medicine safe and cold, and our shared dollars for the basic right to electricity should not be funding CEOs' private jets and luxury conferences. Let me hear you if you agree with me on that. All the while, our electric rates continue to go up. That money should be reinvested into the grid for all of our betterment. Today, we are here in the freezing cold to say no more to shady deals. We are demanding action from our state government, and we are also demanding more from corporations like Oracle and DTE that should care more about their customers and the environment than their bottom line. Yeah. That means real safeguards and real accountability. Yeah. These companies must pay their own way and not rely on us as the taxpayers. They must report transparently on water and energy consumption. Let me hear you if you agree with me on that. They must be required to pay all allocated funds, even if they shut down or leave the state, and they must commit to using 100% clean energy. Non-negotiable. I want you all to know that your advocacy is working, and we are seeing real wins in multiple locations across the state. I'm going to keep doing my part, and I'm proud to tell you that today, alongside Representative Dylan Wagella and Representative Jim DeSena, I am going to be announcing a bill and introducing a bill that will repeal these tax incentives that are driving data centers to our state. Together, I know that we can keep fighting and keep protecting our communities. I want to thank you all for being out here. Know that this is not falling on deaf ears, and you are making a difference. Again, thank you for being here. Let's stay in this fight, and let's keep up the fight together. Thank you all so much.
Representative Aaron Burns, thank you so much, Aaron. Next up, we have no stranger to the steps of the Capitol, Andrea Pierce from the Michigan Environmental Justice Council and the Anishinaabe Caucus. Welcome, Ani.
I got to lift this stone on because I forget how tall I am. So I'm Andrea Pierce. I'm a tribal resident citizen of Little Traverse Bay Band of Wadala Indians. And I live in Ypsi Township. And stop Los Alamos! Exactly. Stop Los Alamos and U of M. Why is a university funding and being part of data centers? What does that have to do with the health or the education of our people? Nothing. And again, another secret deal. They have signed NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. I've heard ours is to be, not ours, Ypsi Townships that we are fighting is supposed to be for surveillance. But with two nuclear companies involved, I'm scared of that one. I really am. So I'm going to talk about Bill 5362, which was introduced last week by Representative Jimmy Wilson Jr. from Ypsilanti Township. He's trying to take back the $144 million that Gretchen Whitmer gave to them, U of M in Los Alamos. 5362, contact your House rep and senator. We need that money gone. If they don't hit the money, it makes it harder. And ours in Ypsi, 144 acres of old ground trees. And they're going to try and say, oh, we'll give you new trees. New trees are not as good. We want the old ones that know how to work this. And I'm going to tell you, I did not consent to be using AI. I have not consented. My one morning, my computer's changed. I did not consent to this. So when they tell me, oh, you're using AI, I'm like, prove it. No, I don't. I got that minus AI everywhere. I am not paying a bottle of water for an answer to a question I can look up somewhere else. Not happening. I can think for myself. Thank you. So I did not consent. So, you know, I talk a lot about line 5 and that tunnel, right? Data centers coming all through here is going to be another reason why they're going to say we need fossil fuels. We need fossil fuels. No, we don't. So in my world, this is going to increase the need for fossil fuels. That's where we're going to go. They're not going to look at solar. They're going to look at nuclear energy. They're going to look at KFOS, industrialized KFOS, biodiversity. They're not going to look at solar and wind. No fossil fuels. Shut down line 5. No tunnel. Get it all out of here. So do we have any hunters out here? Any hunters? You like to hunt? AI is the vibration and the shaking, constant 24/7 shaking will change the migration patterns of the animals, the deer. It will also change the birds and whether or not they want to come here anymore. You see how we don't hear chirping now? We will have that forever if we let these data centers come in. And what will that vibration and humming do for the bees? If it's affecting the animals and the birds, what's it going to do for the bees? And it affects us too. Headaches. You get headaches from that. And also linked to cancers. And we're just finding out in other states who don't have the hyper ones and the mega ones. They got just little regular baby ones. People are getting cancer at a higher rate. It's bad enough we got to fight the PFAS cancers, the dioxin cancers, and all the cancers from the poison food. But now we're going to have to work on cancers they're caused by these AIs and data centers. And they expect us to pay for everything. You know that, right? We always end up paying. The MPSC will make sure we pay for this. We'll pay for this when they build it. We'll pay for it when they work it. We'll pay for it every time they flip a light switch or a data goes through. We will be paying. It'll be chink, 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 chink on Michigan citizens.
No more tax.
Exactly. No more tax breaks. Why are we giving big corporations tax breaks when people are freaking starving? We got what, 635 million that was just clawed back from the Republicans for Michigan citizens and schools. But we're going to give tax breaks. Seriously? We need to get the Michigan money out of the politics. There's a petition going around. All right? Raise your hand if you're nearby. If you're a part of that, they're over there. Sign the petition. It's nonpartisan. It gets the money. We give us a fighting chance so we can beat DTE on our own ground. We got the people. We got the people. And also there's one for Invest in My Kids petition, which is a tax on the rich. Raise your hand too. Sign both of these petitions. They're important for Michigan. I have to ask, at this point in time, what are we leaving our children? What? I mean, seriously, we're leaving them in debt. We're leaving them high electrical bills because DTE ain't done yet. It's people over profits. That's where we need to be. We need to be first in line.
That's right.
People over profits. People over profits. People over profits. People over profits. Can we go on or am I done? All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I think I went over.
Centers. No data centers. Hey, there's a bunch of people out there that have community signs from all the affected communities. If we could have you come up here right now, please. If you have one of those signs, please come up here and line up behind the podium. Our next speaker has become a very good friend of mine. I met her over this whole fight against the AI data centers. And as I stated earlier, I've met so many incredible people, and I continue to on a daily basis while trying to fight these things. She's from Augusta Township, and her name is Wendy Albers. Please give her a big round of applause.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here. Allen Park, Augusta Township, Benton Township, Berlin Township, Dowagiac, Dundee, Frenchtown Township, Gaines Township, Grand Rapids, Howell Township, Kalkaska, Lansing, Lowell, Lyon Township, Marshall, Mason, Oakland University, Pavilion Township, Saline Township, Southfield, Van Buren Township, York Township, Ypsilanti Township, and Washington Township. These are all communities right now that are in various stages of fighting against data center projects in their communities. As Tim mentioned, my name is Wendy Albers, and I am from Augusta Township. The residents in Augusta gathered enough signatures to force a vote on rezoning land for a hyperscale data center. We currently are awaiting for that vote to happen. But I am here today to express my concern over the explosion of data center projects across Michigan and how decisions made about the Saline Township project could also affect these communities. The developer tactics are all the same. No disclosure of who the company is until a deal is signed. Big promises made to local township officials with many signing NDAs. Intimidation tactics like threats of or actual lawsuits or local officials threatening to enact millages that don't require the people's vote. And lastly, communities find out about these projects before a vote is requested, but quickly learn conversations have been happening for months before that first public meeting, and then the project has to be rushed through due to the developer's timeline. We elect our representatives at the state and local level to be the voices of the people. We are grateful for those here today and others who have shown support. Many more on both sides of the aisle have been silent when we reach out for assistance. Emails, texts, messages, and phone calls are not returned. We have seen local officials that just ignore what a majority of their residents are telling them. We see you, and we want you to see us. We will remember in 2026. We do not know what the energy demands will be if all of the communities I mentioned build data centers. Michigan needs to look at the bigger energy and water picture instead of rushing the Saline project through when so much more is on the line. MPSC commissioners, this is your chance to provide some equality between big tech, government, and the people. We ask you to deny the ex parte request from DTE. Please do not fast track the largest industrial project in Michigan history. End the secrecy and protect the people of Michigan from the wants of a publicly funded company. As Attorney General Nessel has stated, this request could set a dangerous precedent for future data center projects in Michigan, potentially shaping the state's energy policy for decades. Thank you all for being here today. Your voices matter. Protect your Michigan. Protect your Michigan.
Big hand for Wendy, everybody, and everybody up here. You guys are heroes. Come on now. Okay, so this has been quite a feat to organize this. People who have never met each other, never been in the same room, never even seen each other's faces, all organizing and really with urgency and with everything on the line and with a lot of really strong ideas. We feel it today, right? There's a lot of different narratives and different passions that connect to this. Everybody has a reason to hate this, right? And also, we're not approaching it with hate. We're approaching it with love. We love Michigan. We love water. And really, to organize all of this and facilitate this, someone had to put their name on the line and rent this place. And that person is going to speak to you next. And he came to me and he said, there's some people who want to do a rally at the state capitol. Here we are, 2 weeks later. Please put your hands together. He's a scientist. He's the director of the New People Foundation. Please welcome Dr. Mitch Diston.
Thank you. How are we doing, Michigan? Are we cold? No, because we tough. I love it. Well, first, I just want to thank Seth for agreeing to be the MC of the event. I want to thank all the community organizers who helped organize this. It took a lot of power to put this together in 1 week, but we did it, and we're not going away. Yeah, thank you, Pachamama, for such a beautiful day. This is up north, we call this summer, so thank you. So I've spent the last decade traveling around the world and living in many different communities and cultures. I've learned a lot, probably more than any amount of schooling has ever taught me. And the greatest lesson that I've learned is that our similarities as people vastly, vastly outweigh our differences. We have the same wants, the same needs, the same fears. We show the same trepidations over the direction that our societies are heading. And who are the people in the driver's seat? Today, this right here, this is no protest. This is a message to big tech, a message to corporate oligarchs, to our elected representatives, that our lands, our water, our people are not for sale. Do not mess with our communities. Do not mess with our people. You will not win. This is a message to Governor Whitmer and any of our representatives who choose to place greedy corporate interests above that of the people who elected you in the first place. So this is the title of a recent Rolling Stone expose that was published just a few weeks ago. The title is "The Precedent is Flint: How Oregon's Data Center Boom is Supercharging a Water Crisis. Amazon has come to the state's eastern farmland, worsening a water pollution problem that's been linked to cancer and miscarriages." So I say to Governor Whitmer or any other legislator who supports data centers, do not let this be your Flint. Do not let this be your legacy. Do not let this taint your legacy. Yet above all, this is a message of unity and hope, of the many shared interests of the American people. Our corporate oligarchs want us to be divided. It's a tale as old as time, at least since the Roman Empire. Divide and conquer. Well, this movement right here proves the falsity of this narrative. This isn't about the left or the right. This is about the people. This is about the 99% of us sending a message to our 1% unelected, unrepresentative ruling class. We don't like where you're taking us, and we will fight back every step of the way. Well, let's get a chant going. People before profits. People before big tech. People for the people. Thank you.
One more time for Mitch Diston and all these warriors up here. We'll get back up at the very end of everything, so y'all can go back into the crowd and join your comrades here. What a beautiful crowd. What a beautiful opportunity for us to make new friends and to build this movement. We want to make sure that the commitment is deep here. So are you guys willing to fight beyond this battle here and just take it all the way for the rest of your lives? This is where the power is. We need that level of commitment. We need it from the people on the ground, and we need it from the people who work in here. We got another champion coming to speak. Please give a very warm welcome from the 26th House District in Garden City, Representative Dylan Wegela.
How's everybody doing? It's a good day, always a good day for democracy here. And I think what I've learned since coming into this place about 3 years ago is that power and change is never going to come from inside this institution, but it's going to come from the working class people that are fighting for everyone. And I think we're at this moment in time where we are seeing, like, data centers are showing people across the world the core of the oligarchy. And what I mean by that is here in Michigan under the Democratic trifecta, and yeah, I'm a Democrat, I'm also a Democratic socialist, but what we saw under the trifecta was Democrats pass a tax break for data centers. And what do we see now? We see data centers coming everywhere. Well, I'll tell you what, today I'm working with Republican Jim DeSena and Aaron Burns to introduce a repeal of that tax credit. And I said this is an issue that we see on both sides. We just saw federally the president sign an executive order trying to ban states from passing regulations on data centers. We need to get corruption out of both parties. And we need to make sure we protect our air and our water and our energy. And I say that because, of course, DTE and consumers want these to be put in place. because they will be making tons of profits on the rates that they'll be able to raise on all of us. And in this institution, DTE donates more money than anyone in politics. And if you didn't know that, our governor has taken the most of it. And they do this because it is cheaper for DTE to buy off politicians than to actually fix the grid. So they would rather buy off the people in this chamber to pass legislation that increases their profits instead of us having energy for everyone for cheap. I believe our utilities should be publicly owned for the people. Keep fighting and keep demanding transparency, because what we've seen in this institution is lawmakers signing non-disclosure agreements related to legislation they're voting on. That's why I've worked with Steve Carra, who's a Republican, to pass non-disclosure bans in the House. We're waiting on the Senate to pick it up. Thank you for being here, and hold us accountable.
No NDAs. No NDAs. There should never be any NDAs. Come on. Thank you so much. One more time for Representative Wegela. We are so honored to have these representatives standing with us, and to move it along here, representing the 33rd District, which includes Saline, Michigan. Please give a warm welcome to Representative Morgan Foreman.
Hey, everybody. Good morning. Is it still morning? It's still morning, I think. All right. Thank you for being here on this blustery, cold Wednesday or Tuesday here in Lansing, right? So my brain cells are freezing because it's freezing out. But honestly, who remembers a December like this anytime in recent history? No? Why? Climate change, right? And so we're experiencing a lot of the effects of that, especially here in this Great Lakes state. So as stated, I'm State Representative Morgan Foreman, and I have the honor of serving the 33rd House District, which includes Saline Township, where the OpenAI data center is proposed. Recently, DTE Energy asked the Michigan Public Service Commission to skip public comment and fast track the project, but that simply cannot happen. I have been firm in my stance since the project was announced. Our voices must be heard, and the voices of the community must be heard. I have called on the MPSC to reject DTE's request and urge them for a transparent process that ensures concerns about the environmental impact and energy costs are properly addressed. I've talked to my colleagues in other state chambers and provincial chambers all the way to Manitoba, and they express concern, especially about our water resources in the Great Lakes region. The very fact that all of you are here today is proof of the need for and the value of public input. You have concerns and are making your voices heard. This is exactly what the process is, and this is exactly what the MPSC and DTE need to see and have to take into consideration. If these type of things are going to come to Michigan, it has to come with transparency and the public interest and voices in mind. We the people. They need to work on the public, to build the public's interest and not erode it by shutting us out completely. I was tagged in a video where I was seeing construction has already begun. We see these developers trying to circumvent the very community where the data center would be built. I've heard from my community, and let me assure you, though other voices got louder than mine, though other letters went viral, though other things got heard, I have been on the front line since the beginning of this. When I heard about the data center, the approval of the project, 7 minutes before it was announced to the public. The environmental impact that this could have through water and increased energy consumption and the worry of my neighbors, that this will increase their energy bills when costs are already too damn high is a big concern. These issues must be addressed. We cannot have a rush development. And we're not only here today to talk about data centers. This is setting a precedent for companies to think they can come into Michigan and do whatever they want to do. I'm so proud of all of you being here today and for refusing to let your voices be silenced. We have a long road ahead of us, and I'm hoping that we can do something to stop this. But thank you all for being here today, and let's keep fighting together to ensure the voice of every single Michigander is a part of the process. This is our home. Thank you.
One more time for Representative Foreman. Thank you so much. So how many of y'all have joined a new Facebook group in the last couple months, huh? How about Michiganders Against Data Centers? Okay, great. Okay, awesome. Well, the founder of the Michiganders Against Data Centers Facebook page has been wonderfully involved in organizing this event and rallying people. And we also are going to bring up Danny, right? So we've got both representatives from Michiganders Against Data Centers coming up here at the same time. Please welcome Ayat El-Tamimi and Danny Huang.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Before I talk about Stargate, I want to quickly shout out our brother holding up the Los Alamos sign. Stop Los Alamos, being tagged as the new Manhattan Project. Talking about her too. As they mentioned, my name is Ayat El-Tamimi. I'm a public health researcher and a member of Michiganders Against Data Centers. As you all know, DTE is asking for ex parte approval of their $7 billion in contracts to provide energy for the Stargate data center. This is a 1.4 gigawatt data center, and taken with the other data centers that are trying to be forced onto our Michigan communities, that energy load will go up to 15 gigawatts. For context, that is enough energy to power 15 million homes. That is almost 4 times more than the 4.2 million homes currently in the state of Michigan. Boo is right. So the same company that is telling us that their contracts can and should be approved ex parte because they won't increase energy costs is the same company who between 2010 and 2025 paid $2 million in labor, health, and safety violations. They're the same company that is able to circumvent clean energy commitments if their power demands exceed their ability to meet clean energy demands. And this is outlined in the MCL section 460.1032. The energy demands that this data center is asking of us will exceed those energy demands. DTE stands to make billions of dollars off of these contracts. However, when the AI bubble bursts, we will be the ones bailing them out. That's right. The same way we bailed DTE out between 2006 and 2013, when they received over $202 million in federal bailouts from our tax dollars. That should be going to our schools, our hospitals, our elders, our land, not to DTE. DTE wants us to blindly trust them, but they have not been a good partner to Michigan. And this redacted contract pages and pages of lies and redaction is not where they will start. They have shut off the electricity on more than 60,000 Michigan residents. Just this week, in this blistering cold, they have shut off the power on residents of the Leland House in Detroit. That is not a company who has our best interests at heart. The secrecy and lies go farther than just DTE, however. New York-based real estate developer Related Digital and their parent company, Related Companies, have been plotting on Michigan since at least 2022. At least 3 years of their lies in secrecy. Just this year, they sued Saline Township to rezone 575 acres of our precious farmland. This data center is being forced on Saline. It is being forced on Saline to power AI, an industry that is neither artificial nor intelligent. It is built on exploitation of our knowledge, our data, our privacy, our land, our water, and our air. It's an industry whose main functions are 1, to create internet slop, 2, to create pornography that's damaging our children, 3, surveillance of our communities, and 4, war making. And to quote our sister from earlier, nobody becomes more against war than those who have lived through war. Just this summer, OpenAI signed a $200 million contract with the Department of Defense to use their AI for, quote, war making. They're destroying our communities here to use AI to destroy communities around the world. This is a planetary fight. We are all connected in. And as today has shown us, we are stronger together. We are united in the fight to protect our communities and all communities suffering as a result of AI. We must reject the ex parte approval. We must reject DTE secret deals. We must reject Jocelyn Benson and Related Digital's complicity in this process. And when the AI bubble bursts, we will not be able to eat, drink, or breathe a data center. So we must reject the ex parte approval. We must reject the data centers destroying our communities, clean air, and water, while we foot the bill to line the already swollen pockets of DTE, OpenAI, Oracle, and Related Digital. And to end this, I will end it with a quote from one of our siblings who spoke at the December 3rd MPSC hearing. AI is not the future. Our children are the future. Power to the people. Thank you all.
Power to the people! Power to the people! My name is Danny. I used to work as a financial reporter. What is happening right now, the reason we got all of these data centers coming into our towns is that there is an unprecedented historical flood of capital pouring into the data centers, pouring into AI infrastructure, pouring into an industry that has never proven it can be profitable. OpenAI and ChatGPT have never made a single dollar in profit. What they have proven is that they can lose more and more money every year. OpenAI went from losing $5 billion in 2024 to $12 billion in just the most recent quarter. That's 10 times the money that DTE makes in 1 year that OpenAI lost in the past 3 months alone. Despite this, the big tech firms are spending more than $400 billion on AI this year, and all of that money is pumping up the biggest financial bubble we have ever seen. According to one estimate, where we are now is already 17 times the internet bubble during the late 90s. We are 4 times the size of the subprime mortgage bubble that led to 2008. And the biggest problem is that none of these guys, not the bankers, not the investors, not the CEOs, not the policymakers, have any idea how this ends. They don't have formulas or models for AGI. We're talking about a super intelligence that allegedly is going to fundamentally change our economy and society. They don't teach you that at business school. These guys are making it up as they go. Right now, they are making up accounting tricks like depreciating billions of dollars of the chips that they have across 6-year life cycles instead of the 2 to 3 years that they can actually use the chips. Right now, they are coming up with shady investment entities called SPVs, special purpose vehicles, exactly like what Enron used to have, so that these big tech firms can take out massive loans and hide them from their balance sheets. This year, they've even invented a new form of debt that they're calling GPU-backed securities. These are just like mortgage-backed securities that helped blow up the 2008 financial crisis, only now they're using NVIDIA chips as collateral instead of home loans. They're doing all of this so that they can keep feeding the money back into themselves in one big loop. This is how capital cycles, this is how boom and bust cycles have always worked. The people who feed and profit during the boom are never around after the bust. When the music stops, it's always going to be the local people, the local communities here in Michigan and around the country who already have higher energy prices, polluted air, contaminated water, who are left holding the bag. This is why we do not need more money into data centers, and we do not need more data centers in Michigan.
One more time for Michiganders against data centers, y'all. Thank you, Aya. Thank you, Danny. So, keeping things moving here, we have Brian Smigielski from the Sierra Club, and they have been central as an organization in every major battle here to protect the Great Lakes and Mother Earth in Michigan. And Brian has an analysis that's been very valuable to us as organizers, kind of piecing things together from a policy standpoint and an organizing standpoint. He's a scientist and a researcher, community organizer. Please put it together for Brian Smigielski from the Sierra Club, folks.
Thank you, everybody. It's so great to be here with all of you and to see what this movement is becoming. I'm going to pick up where Danny left off, talking about the financial situation that we are being asked to accept on behalf of big tech. So if you get an email that promises you millions of dollars, but it tells you that you have to act now, right? That you have to rush. That it tells you that you can't look at the fine print. It presents a false sense of urgency. Do you sign on the dotted line immediately? Do you maybe send it off to some independent experts to review that contract? Do you start building $500 million in a public energy grid without any guarantee? No, you don't, right? So when DTE's CEO was asked about a month ago why they needed to rush this deal, she said, well, these data center companies are competing against each other. And hidden within that remark is she is admitting that Oracle has not yet secured demand or profitability for this project and is asking us to subsidize it and to risk up to $1 billion or more in public infrastructure costs. for a company that pays $3.5 billion in interest per year. And for this project, which has never turned a profit, Oracle and ChatGPT, which has never turned a profit. So who is going to be left holding the bag when they close up? Who's going to hold the bag? Not us. Who's going to hold the bag? Not us. Right. So but they know this, right? Oracle knows this. So Oracle has set up a limited liability company called Green Chili Ventures. Has anybody heard of Green Chili Ventures? No. So what's going to happen, right, is they're making this wager, this market wager with our energy system, with our public land, with our water. And if it goes south, we pay for all of that. And are they going to be left holding or are they going to be left on the line? No. Who is going to be Green Chili Ventures, which is basically nobody, to take the fall, right? So that OpenAI and Oracle can get away scot-free. So we're here to say that that is a crime. That is illegal, right? They cannot do that. And we're going to call attention to that. So I just want to talk a little bit about no secret deals, right? So a lot of us are thinking, right, we don't want these data centers anyways, right? But we also don't want no secret deals. And so just a little story about that. About 2 months ago, when I met with Wendy Albers and Tim Bruno and Tammy Bruno from Saline, the Saline area, to talk about how to frame the Saline protest, this kind of idea kept coming up around secrecy. And we came up with the no secret deals theme, right? But part of why we settled on this theme is because we know something. We became very clear about one thing, which is that if the big tech companies are forced to actually show the risks, show the impacts, if they're forced to actually sign contracts that keep them financially responsible, then they will not build these because it won't be profitable for them. Because the risks and the impacts will be illegal, because they will derail us off of our climate plan. So no secret deals ends up being no massive hyperscale data centers. It's the same movement. No secret deals is no AI data centers. So big tech, they screwed up with this one, right? They think that us, for one, we are getting in the way of collectively trillions of dollars of money, right? Of power, right? It's a scary thing to do. It's like we're getting on a train track. We're standing in front of a train, right? And the reason is, well, they want us to think that we are standing in front of their rocket ship and they're going to go to the moon in profit, right? But we know that we're standing on a runaway train that's about to go off of the rails, it's about to go off a cliff, and we've banded together, right? And so, but they screwed up, right? Because this is bringing together people from across the political spectrum. They are used to being able to keep us fighting each other, and we are very clearly linking up on that train tracks, left and right, together, united in this fight. Left and right, united in this fight. Left and right, united in this fight. Left and right, united in this fight. Yeah. So what we have done throughout the past 6 months that is climaxing here and is going to continue getting bigger is we have created a moment where dissent from the political and industrial power structure is possible. We have made it possible for 20 legislators to go out on a limb and oppose Gretchen Whitmer and to oppose Oracle. We have made it possible for the Michigan Public Service Commission, the commissioners, Scripps, Paratic, Myers, to go against the will of the political establishment. We have made it possible, but we don't know what they're going to do yet, right? And usually it would not be possible. They're afraid of lawsuits. They're afraid of losing their job if they go against this. And they've never been able to go against this much political and industrial pressure before, but we have made that possible. So we are in a very special moment right now. In 12/18, they are going to make that decision. And we need to be ready to lift them up in heroes to help them fight the commissioners, right? They can be our allies. They can be our heroes. They can fight. They can put their careers on the line. They can put themselves in front of lawsuits by billion-dollar corporations. But they can also see this movement and they can break our trust. And that's the last chance they're going to get. If they approve the ex parte secret deal, that is going to be an earthquake through our political landscape that will turn into a tsunami that reshapes the political landscape in Michigan and across the country. Left and right, united in this fight. Left and right, united in this fight. Left and right, united in this fight. No secret deals.
Brian Smigielski, everybody. So remember this. We're asking for 3-minute video submissions about this contested case in Saline. No ex parte. Send them to stopsalinedatacenter@gmail. If you want to learn more about it, Sarah Brabs is your point person, frontline community organizer from Saline. We only have a couple days. So take the time, make a video, 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minutes max. Stop Saline Data Center, singular, not plural, @gmail. You got it? Tell everybody you know, okay? Moving things along here. We got Will Lawrence. He is a Lansing resident. He is a housing organizer. He's one of the original founders of the Sunrise Movement. Put your hands together for Will Lawrence.
Thank you, Sam. William Lawrence, Lansing resident. I'm also running for U.S. Congress to represent the 7th District in Washington, D.C. We've got a data center proposal here in Lansing. I got to say it's much smaller and less odious than some of the other proposals around the state, but it shares two very bad things in common with all of them. Number one is that local citizens are being asked to approve this project via a zoning change before any specific commitments to community benefits have been made. And number two, it's a symptom of the AI boom that we did not ask for and we do not trust. Now, one could imagine a society in which artificial intelligence and robotics are deployed for the benefit of humanity, in which the machines liberate us from burdensome labor and free us to engage in creative and human pursuits together. In such a society, I think data centers would be welcome. But we do not live in that society. Who here doubts that AI will be a benefit to society? Who here doubts that Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg and Sam Altman have your best interests at heart? We know that under our current system, AI is being deployed for one reason: to deliver profit to mega corporations and their investors. The profit comes from putting people out of work and removing your salary from your employer's balance sheet. Experts think that AI could put millions of people out of work over the next 5 to 10 years. But don't worry, says big tech. We're going to create so many jobs building the unemployment machine. They'll call you Luddites, and you should wear that as a badge of honor. The original Luddites were workers who smashed machines that were being deployed to put them out of work and deliver inferior products. And meanwhile, I'll say that big tech has bought so many politicians, Democrats and Republicans, under the shroud of these secret non-disclosure agreements, that it's suspending democracy itself to push these projects forward. But don't worry, say the politicians. Suspending our democracy is the only way we can defeat undemocratic countries in an AI arms race. You see the irony here? So we are in a war for the future, but it's not against any other country. It's the people against the tech billionaires. And the winners will be the people who portray our version of the future as inevitable. The big tech CEOs, they want us to believe that AI supremacy is inevitable. Do not believe them. Do not believe them. Because we say the resistance is inevitable and we will win. The future is not generated by a machine. The future is human. The future is our children. The future is our land and water. And the future is offline, here in the real world.
One more time for Will Lawrence, folks. Next up, we have another incredible leader from the Anishinaabe Caucus who also works with the Clean Water Action and was a part of our water blessing ceremony this morning. Tremendous leader. Please put your hands together for Dr. Nicole Kiwe Biber.
Ani Baju, Nicole Indigenous Cuz, Kwejong and Dojaba, Waganakasino Da, Anishinaabe Kwe, Mishike Dodam. So I'm Turtle Clan. I'm with the Little Traverse Bay Bands of Odawa. And looking out here and hearing in the different communities, people giving their public testimony sounds a lot like hope and feels a lot like hope. In our Anishinaabe people, the original stewards of these Great Lakes lands, we have prophecies, our 7th fire prophecies going on to the 8th fire. And I'd like to uplift that for a bit for you today, because that's where we find ourselves together here, together throughout the world. There's 2 paths we can choose. And that's where we find ourselves. One is where the tech billionaires get their way. It's about speed. It's about convenience. It's about continued extraction and exploitation and saying just a bit more poison in your water. Just some more concrete on our lands. Just trust us that you don't need your communities. You just need what we say you need. And you get what we say you get. Our other option, and this is where we find ourselves, where we can light the 8th fire. We're currently in the 7th fire, where our people are restoring our languages, restoring our teachings. There's the possibility that the path we choose is the one where it is restoration, where all the nations of the world, we unify and we say, it may not seem so fast, and it's going to be hard work to turn back from this machine, this killing machine, but you know what? We're all here. She is keeping us alive against all odds, all of the depredations, all of the abuses. We're still drawing breath. We're still carrying the water in all of our veins, and we still can take the opportunity and choose this possibility to say, we are going to bring our waters back. We are going to bring our more than human relatives home. We do not choose the path of destruction. We choose the path of restoration. And that's where we all find ourselves. I'm so uplifted and hopeful, and we all should be, for this unifying moment where we say an absolute no to AI and data centers, no. And we say yes, and we choose one another, we choose our families, we choose our homelands, we choose our communities, and we choose life.
A little bit louder for Dr. Biber. Thank you, Nicole. So we have a big pile of signs that were donated by Brownlee Press. And if anyone's looking for something to do, you can pass out these signs. Take a couple, take a few, spread them around. We're going to need a lot of action over the next little while. Maybe some of the kids here. How about a hand for all the kids that are here? Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your leadership. So don't be shy. We got to hand out all these stickers. Just for showing up, you get a free sticker. Help yourself. There we go. So we're going to hear from another frontline community organizer. Please put your hands together for Gina Ladner from Lowell, Michigan. Thank you, Gina.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am so excited to be here. I do not have a speech prepared. I was tossed in at the last minute to replace somebody else. But my agenda is quite similar to hers. We both own small businesses. Do we have any small business? How many of you are worried that the increased utility costs are going to affect your small business. So I appreciate and love everybody that's talking about the environment. I agree 100%. But we got to look at the effect this is going to have on our small towns. Our small town has this lovely historical district, many small mom and pop businesses in there. We have currently, I think, 4 empty storefronts now, with 1 more that'll be empty at the end of the year. Our township residents have already seen astronomical increases in both their electric and their water bill. Now, I'm paying 2 sets of utilities, 1 for my home, 1 for my small business. That's going to affect me on a personal level, but it's also going to affect all these people that I want to serve with my small business. They're not going to be able to come and shop in our beautiful small town. The data center is planned right at the highway entrance to our small town. Is that going to draw people in? Are people going to say, oh, look at Lowell, what a cute little town? And then they drive to come here and there's this big ugly data center sitting there. That's not going to help. It's not going to help our community. It's not going to help our businesses. It's just a bad situation. And that's all I have to say.
One more time for Gina, everybody. Thank you so much. We stand with you, Lowell. From Howell, Michigan, we got some Howell people out there. Y'all are bad. You've been doing it. You've been doing it. And we're with you. It's not over yet. And we're going to hear from Lauren Prebenda from Howell. Put your hands together for Lauren, everybody.
Hi, everyone. First and foremost, I'd just like to say this right here is why you don't mess with Michiganders. Thank you, everybody, for being here today, for braving the cold, and for standing in solidarity as we fight to protect our land, our water, and for many of us, the very future of our rural communities. My name is Lauren Prebenda, and I'm extremely proud to use my voice today to represent the thousands of Howell and Livingston County residents who stood up in opposition to a 1,077-acre hyperscale data center proposal in Howell Township. Just for a little context, that is nearly 2 square miles. Like many others, my community was blindsided with the news of this proposal mere days before it was to be considered at a township meeting. We were provided very little information and instead were spoon-fed a sales pitch telling us that we should be elated because this is a Fortune 100 company that's committed to being a good neighbor. A good neighbor doesn't hide their identity behind the name of a shell LLC. A good neighbor doesn't pressure local officials into signing NDAs to keep information from the public. A good neighbor doesn't enter a rural community with a monstrous 10-building water and energy sucking site plan and wait for public outcry to offer more amenable conditions. A good neighbor is invested in the health of their community and its residents and certainly would not dare to propose an industrial complex a stone's throw from residential homes, families, schools, and farms. But they didn't do that because they aren't good neighbors. They are not our neighbors at all. They are multi-billion-dollar corporations with the goal of padding shareholder pockets, not protecting Michigan residents. So I'd like to make something very clear today. These data centers are a bad deal. They will continue to be a bad deal a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. We are not going anywhere. Our minds will not be changed, and we will not forget the politicians who chose to take the side of corporate interests over the interests of their constituents and their neighbors. Thank you.
One more time for Lauren. Thank you so much. So the Economic Development Responsibility Alliance was very quick to this issue and resourced many of us with lots of information on their website. We're going to hear from their director right now. Please put your hands together for Marjorie Steele.
Hi guys, is everybody staying warm? All right, I'm going to keep this real short. I've got a message for our community organizers, which is just about everybody out here today. I want to draw your attention to the Michigan state flag. At the heart of our flag lies the scene of a person clad in buckskin standing on a green, lush bank beside clear blue waters that are running into a larger body of water that is so large that it disappears over the horizon beneath a golden sun. Above this scene is one Latin phrase, tuebor, which means I will defend. I'd like to offer a slight amendment for our purposes here today to that phrase. I would like to change the I to we. Because when I look out here today, I don't see one person standing. I see a whole crowd, every one of you representing thousands from your communities. Representing Michiganders across political lines, across socioeconomic lines. We are here together from all walks of life because we all, every one of us and every person that we represent, we love and we all drink Michigan's water. We all breathe her same air. And we all value her habitats and her wild spaces, from our postage stamp backyards in the cities to our farmland to the Porcupine Mountains. And that is why we have all come here together today to collectively say that we will defend. We here at IDRA have been fighting toxic development in Michigan for almost 3 years now. So it's a labor of love, as all of you know. But I want to be clear right now. This is a fun celebratory day. It's gonna get harder. It's gonna get really, really hard. And wait for it. We are not all going to agree. We're not always gonna like each other. Not all communities are gonna agree on strategy. There's gonna be strife. There's gonna be tension. But I want all of us to remember here today that united we stand and divided we fall. So let us Michiganders, let we the people remember that we are stronger when we stand together than the forces that oppose us. Let us remember that it is no one's job but ours to save our state. Superman is not coming. There are no superheroes except for us. So as we carry this momentum forward tomorrow and next week and next month and next year and into the next decades, let us all remember that we stand united, that we are stronger together, and let us remember our mission, which is that we will defend Michigan.
One more time for Marjorie Steele.
What an incredible event. We have one speaker who's certainly not the least. This next gentleman is going to be receiving the Climate Champion Award tonight from the Michigan Climate Action Network, which will be aired at at 7 o'clock on the Michigan Climate Action Network. And actually, this is being live streamed on there as well. Before he speaks, though, I'd like to sort of follow up on a few people have talked about what we're all doing here today. I'd like each of you to take a moment and reflect and think about what a hero looks like. Now look at those standing around you. Although you may not realize it, but you are the hero you've been waiting for. We are the heroes Michigan has been waiting for. We all have the power to affect change. So heroes of Michigan, let me hear your voices. We have the power. We have the power. We have the power. We have the power. So, as I said, our last guest was instrumental in taking down the Kalkaska data center. With no further ado, Mr. Seth Bernard.
So grateful to be here with you all. So honored. There's no place in the world I'd rather be. I feel like many of you, like my path has led me to this space to share this moment with you all and to feel this incredible coalition. It's a bit of a dream to have a coalition this broad, to have this many people standing up for our water together. And also the terrors that we're facing are more terrible than ever before. I think it's up to all of us here to help translate this to the people that we know and to help give them courage and to help give them understanding and analysis. It's like we've seen what's north of the wall and we know that winter is coming and we got to build the movement. And what they're doing is sort of like asking the Shire to subsidize the construction of the Eye of Sauron. It makes no sense, and we're not going to do it. So for every person that's here, there's 1,000 more that wanted to be here. So to those of you that couldn't make it, we know you're with us. We feel your support. And for every person that's here, there's 1 million more that's afraid of AI. And sometimes we get stuck. We get stuck in a trauma response. So to the people that are listening, that are afraid and don't know what to do, use the force. We need less Oscar the Grouch energy and more Yoda energy. You got a lightsaber. Learn how to use it. So here we are. Every one of us is here for a reason. We have the support of our ancestors behind us, and the future generations need us. They need us to go strong. And we found ourselves as the adults in the room, standing up for the children, standing up for the future generations. This invasion of hyperscale AI data centers is a national security emergency. We're united to stop the desecration of our lands and waters and the parasitic extraction of our art, our culture, our labor. This tech is being deployed in hostile, criminal, pathological, and unconscionable ways. And at the same time, for decades, myself and so many community organizers, many of whom are here and have been gathered here together for decades, we've asked ourselves the question, can we build multiracial, multi-generational working class solidarity in Michigan? Can we build the power we need to protect these waters and our lifeways? And today, as I look around and look at all of you, I know the answer. The answer is yes. We will not be marginalized. We will not be pitted against each other. And so as we orient toward the end of this protest, let us orient toward the fight ahead. And really, it's a project. And it's going to take all the love in our hearts. And one of my very favorite quotes is Jimi Hendrix, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And so don't let yourself be marginalized. Any argument against this has been disproven by every speaker on this stage today. And so the power that we feel in our hearts is the power of love. And it's the love that we have for Michigan. It's the love that we have for our waters. And indeed, we're made of water. Water is life, and water is alive. And as we orient to the end of this protest, we have action items. We have things that we can do. And again, we need to spread the word. We need to build this movement. We need to have generative and natural conversations with all the people in our lives, and to talk about this and open it up, and to be willing to answer questions, willing to be curious. And as we start to build with people who may be new to the movement, or maybe we saw them as the other, or someone who had a different narrative than us, we get to have relationality. We get to build actual relationships. And as my therapist once told me, you can be right or you can be in a relationship. And so we get to be in a relationship. We get to build power, and we get to do it for the rest of our lives. So take care of yourselves. Take care of everybody else. Do the things that you know give you resource, give you energy, and feed your heart and soul. Music, really good food, take care of your body, take care of your spirit. And one of the things that I do to stay in this work, because I'm going to stay in this work for the rest of my life. I pledge my life to this work. I pledge my life to these waters. I pledge my life to this earth. And so to stay connected, we stay connected however we can. And we stay connected to the relationship that we have with the earth and with the waters and with each other. And with whatever creative practices help us feel more human. Because in the end, it's awakening our love, and it's awakening our humanity. And again, there's so much honey in the hearts of the people in this movement. And really, at the end of the day, honey's better than money. We really need to go strong here and to lead with love. And I feel it. I feel it. And I feel so uplifted, and I feel so alive being able to stand with you all. And so onward, ever onward. We're going to do two things now. We're all going to get up on stage. And as we do that, two of my favorite musicians in the world, Charlie Millard and Sam Cooper, are going to sing a brand new song to sort of let us dance and move and shake our way up here. And then we're going to give our wonderful folks in the press, thank you again so much for your journalistic integrity, for allowing the people to have their voices heard in our press. We appreciate you. Photographers, how about a big shout out and a big round of gratitude to the amazing artists at Pleasant Peninsula for their role in all of this. We got reformers working inside here who made their voices heard at this podium, who are trying to pass legislation to pass a moratorium. We got the AG who is taking a legal stance against no secret deals. We got healers here. We got resistors. All of you are resistors, and all of us get to wear all these hats, and we get to be dog lovers and cat lovers and people who pack our children's lunches too. I mean, it's really all of us. And so as we build this movement, we get to know some of the best people around. And the more I stay in this movement, the more I meet my people. So be those people, and keep your hearts open and your arms open to new people. And if they come to you with hard questions, maybe triggering questions, lean toward curiosity, lean toward an open hand. And these conversations are going to lead us where we need to go. Working class solidarity, it's happening. I see it right here. So we're all going to come up on stage, and we're going to get our picture taken. And then we're going to march around the Capitol. And we got some people on the other side of the Capitol that are doing work that we can stand for too. We got Michiganders for the Mini protesting undemocratic budget cuts that impact housing, healthcare, and schools. Right on the other side of the Capitol, working class solidarity all the way. So at this time, come on up, everybody, all of you, up on these steps with the Saline frontline organizers front and center. This is your week. And Sam Cooper and Charlie Millard.